Hey guys, what's up? I'm Greg, he's Q, together with Mr. Happy 0121, and I just want to say long time no see. It's been a few days. Feels like a few weeks, days turn into weeks in the YouTube world. But in our absence, a lifelong dream of yours has come true. Something that I've heard you praying to God night after night since you were a young boy. I used to hear you speaking to the Lord. You would say, Lord, is there any way that you can please combine a pizza in a quesadilla in my lifetime before I die? Well, guess what?
What?
Your prayers have been answered.
Thank you, Lord.
It's the Pizzadilla. Yes, it's a pizza plus a quesadilla, and it equals delicious. They have the math right on the box. My favorite part of this is it's Mexican style. I don't know exactly what that means. I'm sure Mexicans could tell us. I think that's just one of those things they put on a box because it sounds good. But how else would a pizzadilla be? I don't think it would be like Italian style.
Cajun style.
There you go. Inside the Mexican style pizzadilla, we're going to find seasoned beef crumbles, tomatoes, onions, Monterey Jack, and cheddar cheese with a roasted pepper salsa on top of a cheese quesadilla. So they have like a quesadilla, and then they put a pizza on top of it.
Cool.
I don't know if you guys can see it, but right there, it's like two things on one. So it's probably going to be double the crust. Let's get a look at this monstrosity before we put it in the oven. And for those of you that can't tell, I have been awake for about 10 minutes. Yes, I'm going to wake right up and eat a pizzadilla. Oh, wow. Doesn't look bad. Let's see if I can get a close-up. It is still in the wrapper, but there are literally two crusts, and then you have the cheese sauce or whatever it is in between. A cheese quesadilla. So yeah, you have a cheese, what is a pizza crust, and then cheese, and then another pizza crust put on top of it. So what you're really getting is twice the crappy, great value frozen pizza crust for the price of one. Let's throw this thing in the oven. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. A close-up of the pizzadilla. It really doesn't look that bad. Gotta say, actually smells pretty good too. There's a look at the second crust with the cheese underneath. We're about to cut into this thing, see if we like it. So, now, as you sit here and this magnificent pizzadilla is in front of you, be honest. Does it look better than you thought, worse than you thought, or exactly as you thought?
Looks better than I thought.
I agree. It looks way better than I thought. It's one of the better looking frozen pizzas I've seen in quite a while. Got my trusty pizza cutter. And for those of you that are wondering, Greg, why is your pizza cooking pan so black? That's because we use it a lot. Those of you that have cooked several pizzas know that's the way they look. That means that's the mark of a well-used pizza pan. It smells like pecani sauce to me. Bite one. Bite two. Bite three, we're going to go way back into the back crust fam. I'm actually going to do the unprecedented fourth bite just to give full coverage. As you can see, it does come apart. It is a double crust, and there is cheese in the middle. What grade do you give the great value pizzadilla?
A 68.
A 68?
Didn't really like it.
Didn't really like it. Let's see if we could pick this apart a little bit. Was it the flavor?
Well, yeah, it was the flavor.
Was it the toppings?
Yeah, it was the toppings. The tomato mostly. Mostly. But there are still some other elements that I didn't really enjoy.
What did it taste like to you? What did the pizza taste like?
Warm pecani sauce. Bland. Kind of blandy.
I got that too. And warm pecani sauce is pretty gross. What did you think of the crust?
Crust, that was the best part. The whole thing would have been like made out of crust and this, it would have been a lot better.
So if the inner 70% of the pizza was more like the outer 30% of the pizza, it would have been a hit.
It would have been a hit.
You said 68. I'm going to go 78. I didn't hate it as much as you, and there were definitely things in there that I saw that they could have done. Now, the warm pecani sauce flavor, yeah, that's the flavor of the pizza. The outer layer, say, once you get past this much of the crust and you get into the pizza, they kind of lose me. The outer part where I thought I would hate it, where there was extra crust and extra cheese, it was like a really good cheesy crust pizza. They had beef and cheese on the outer portion and the sauce didn't penetrate. It tasted like a really good cheeseburger pizza right up until you got into the middle, where then it turned into like this. If they took this idea with the double layer crust and they put like the cheese mixture, the hamburger, and then maybe a different sauce on it and called it a cheeseburger pizza, this thing would probably be one of the higher rated frozen pizzas I've ever done. As it is, you give it a 68, I give it a 78. If warm pecani sauce is your thing, I say go for it. If you're going to buy a bunch of frozen pizzas and money's no object and you don't care to spend $7 on this, throw it in there, because I have a feeling a drunk guy would love this pizza. That's the best we can do. A drunk guy would love this pizza. But sadly for our purposes today, neither one of us are drunk. Today's a very special edition of Facebook Shoutouts. Today's shoutouts are people that are subscribed to the channel but have reached out personally with their stories. What are their stories, you ask? We're not going to tell you, but we know their stories. Facebook, now over 600 likes. Go like the page when you're done here and get a shout out.
Alex Vincent, get well soon.
Get well soon, Alex, if that's possible. Otherwise, we hope you feel better soon. Next, Showstopper from the Showstopper Reviews. He has a name, but his name for today's purposes is Showstopper. I really feel like we missed the boat. Like, you got the Showstopper, you got the endorsement, you got these people with names that, like, encapsulate what they do. We're Greg and Q.
You know what? I'm glad our names aren't that.
You don't want your name to be the endorsement?
No.
Or the Showstopper?
No, I don't.
Or the Hot Stepper?
The Hot Stepper?
Yeah.
I don't like that one.
The best part is, that went right over his head. That was a bad 90s song.
Oh, was it?
Here comes the Hot Stepper. I don't know, it's not too late. I could be the Hot Stepper and then I could boot you out of here and bring in the Showstopper, and it could be the Hot Stepper and the Showstopper Reviews.
Or we can just stick with Mr. Happy 0121.
Just go with what works. Some people would say it's not working, but whatever. Keep it up. It'll be the Hot Stepper and the endorsement.
Will it?
We could do the Hot Stepper, the endorsement, and the Showstopper.
Whoa.
And then have Ian in the background peeping it out.
That's when the subs really start coming.
That's when they start.
Is it when you assemble the team?
To assemble the Avengers.
That's right.
The Avengers of food reviews. That's it for today, guys. I know we haven't been around much this week, but you know what? There hasn't been much to review. That's when you get the Pizzadilla, is when there's not much to review. We're going back in the freezer aisle later this week. And hopefully later this week, whatever deity you worship will send us something in fast food to review. Otherwise, it's going to be a thin week with just a couple reviews. But there is a light, a ray of light coming in. The long dormant Mr. Dark 0121 channel. We're going to throw a couple videos on there this week.
Like what?
I don't know yet. Oh, I do know one. One is an Oreo review that has been out for a while that we had never gotten to. But because I'm a completist, because we have that 26, 27 video long playlist of Oreo reviews, the candy corn Oreo is going over there. It may only get 50 views because it's out of season, but by damn, we're going to make it for the playlist anyway. That's the kind of excitement that happens at Mr. Dark. That's why we make videos there when we want to, not when we have to.
Sorry. I had to cough. That was not a laugh.
I think he liked the one we want. Nobody's forcing us, dude. It's okay. There's no gun to our heads.
It's not.
And, you know, I've got the wrestling channel that you don't care about.
Why do you assume I don't care about it?
Do you care about it?
I mean, not really.
Okay, then.
Just sound a little harsh.
Let me just tell you. I got 22 subscribers over there. First day, 148 views.
That's pretty good.
Second day, I think I've got 18 views today. It was a slow news day. You can find the link to my wrestling news channel in the description below. You could be lucky number 23 on the subscription list.
What's the name of the channel? Is it
Wrestling News 0121. A lot of imagination went into that.
Fitting. This is not some crazy like the endorsement, the ambassador,
the
plague,
the wrestling ambassador,
the wrestling ambassador,
the wrestling pope, the Pope of Wrestling. You know, there actually is a guy named the Pope in wrestling, so I can't use that one.
Didn't know that.
There was one I was going to use that was a really good name, but there used to be a guy in the 80s called Mr. Wrestling number 2. Now, why there was apparently a Mr. Wrestling, but Mr. Wrestling number 2 became more famous than Mr. Wrestling number 1. And so I was going to name the channel Mr. Wrestling 0121, but much like we've learned here by naming a channel Mr. Happy 0121, it works so much better when you name the channel what you're doing. So I named it Wrestling News so that when people looked for wrestling news, they would find my channel. Whereas when people type in food review, they will never, ever, ever see Mr. Happy 0121.
They won't. Should have gone with Mr. Food Reviewer 0121.
Well, we were kind of locked in on the name before. Then we settled on what we were going to do. Kind of like Boogie2988. I don't know what you would ever search to find him.
And that's better. That's better than some like weird, random YouTube screen name like the endorsement or something like XXX420 or just something goofy like that.
Now XXX420 is goofy, but the endorsement settled on this gimmick when he started his channel because he endorses food or he doesn't. So this was a thought out response on his part. Like Dame drops. Now on the other hand, I have no answer for what he drops.
Me either.
I'm sure he would say knowledge. And then he would call me son or fam. That's all we got today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can find us on all social media, Mr. Happy 0121. Until next time.
Stay vigilant.